Sixer Nation, what is up? Throughout my draft research thus far, there is one prospect that has stood far above the rest. And I've been very high on this player, but after hearing what he had to say about Tyrese Maxey and a potential fit with this team, I think I'm sold. If the Sixers end up keeping the number 16 pick, this is the guy they need to draft. So we will talk about him, break it all down, because there's a lot of rumors, right? There's a high likelihood, per all the reports, that they move on from this pick and they get a more win now player and they use it in a potential big time trade or whatever the case is. But if they decide to keep it and want to get another building block, this is the guy. So we will talk about all of it and more. Give me your thoughts down below. Who do you think the Sixers should draft at number 16 overall? Give me your thoughts. And before we get into it all, a shout out to our partner of today's show, BetUS.
BetUS, America's favorite sportsbook and casino. Live betting and racebook. We're celebrating 30 years with a historic offer. A 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits. Plus 10% gambler's insurance. Get started today. BetUS, where the game begins.
Right now on BetUS, as you can see, the odds are up. Game 7s tomorrow afternoon and evening. Nuggets and Timberwolves. Nuggets a 5-point favorite, and the Knicks are a 2-point favorite at home. Going to be some very good games, some very good series so far in this playoffs. Who do you think is going to win? Either way, you can get a 125% deposit match bonus using our link down in the description on BetUS. 24/7 service, 24-hour payouts, the best in the business. I'm taking Denver and Indiana. Give me your thoughts down below in the comments section. And once again, shout out to BetUS. All right, man, let's talk about this prospect. He goes by the name of Devin Carter, and he is a guard out of Providence, a junior who was the 2023-24 Big East Player of the Year, led the conference in scoring, and he's only 193 pounds. But matter of fact, at this point, if he is there at number 16, because he has been climbing up draft boards, if he is there, which I believe he will be, I think this is an ultimate steal of a pick. And I didn't think I'd be making a draft video this quick because I wanted to go through and, put out my top 5 list, which I will do eventually, but I'm still not that far into it. But this player has stood far and above the rest, and I'm just liking everything I hear about Devin Carter, whether it's from reporters, people that covered him in college, whatever it is. He has all the tools to be a long-time player in the NBA, and it says here, he's a dangerous spot-up shooter and a pesky, tenacious defender. And here were his stats from this past season with Providence: 19.7 points per game, 8.7 rebounds per game, and 3.6 assists per game. A couple other things that I picked up on while, watching some film and just going through some breakdowns. He is a natural scorer. He can score from all 3 levels. He's solid at moving the ball and also moving off the ball, right, to find space and to just be a nice complementary piece in an offense, right? It seems like he does the winning things that are needed for any single team. Like, he can just find his role, fit in, and I feel like that's really what the Sixers need. They need guys who can adapt to their roles and just impact winning in some way, shape, or form. He can finish as a slasher. He has very elite off-ball defensive skills, and that's another thing I enjoy about his game. He doesn't get lost in switches. He's a great point of attack defender, and he's just going to make things hard for the opposing on-ball guards. Like, he's going to get up in your face. He's a winning type of player. I really like what I'm seeing. He had 8.7 rebounds last year as a 6'3" guard. The guy has heart, man. A couple weaknesses or things that I'm a little skeptical about when it comes to Devin Carter mainly is just his jump shot. He's got a wonky form. It has gotten better, and his percentages having improved year over year, but he probably will have to make a few tweaks at the next level to be able to knock down consistently. And sometimes he does get a little scared with the basketball. Like, he'll pick up his dribble, and if he wants to be a top-level playmaker going into the future, he's just going to have to improve some of his, playmaking instincts. So those are really the only things I've seen about him. But like I said, he lives for the big moments. He had a couple really big games this year against Marquette, had a nice start against UConn. Matter of fact, we have a couple clips here. Shout out to Daniel Olinger, who pretty much put up some highlights from the first couple minutes of this Providence UConn game. And obviously they were the champs, right? Look at what he did against the national champions. We'll watch a few plays here. He was incredible, man. I mean, look at this. Pull up off the dribble. Boom. He could probably play the 1, but maybe fitted as a 2. Or just the guy that you can put in any type of offense. You know, he could be that guard next to Maxey. He could be your first guy off the bench and just lead a second unit, which will probably end up being his role early on. Another thing about Devin Carter that really opened my eyes as of late in this past week, obviously the draft combine's going on, he went out and set a couple records. Providence's Devin Carter with a 42-inch max vertical leap tied for the best at the combine, and he also tied the top standing vertical at 35 inches. Very bouncy player. Like I said, he's a bit older, so he has that experience. It's not like you're drafting a 18 or 19-year-old prospect, and I think that's where the Sixers are. You know, if they do end up keeping this pick, they want to get a play now type of player. They don't want a project that is going to sit behind for 2 to 3 years. You can't go that route anymore. You need guys who are willing to come out here and know the game well enough right now to be able to contribute on this team. And they got to find a couple gems, and maybe this is one of them. Here's what Devin Carter had to say about Tyrese Maxey, and this is why I'm ultimately sold on him. And it just shows his IQ as a player and just how far developed he is. But he was asked about Tyrese Maxey this past week, and shout out to Sixer Daily putting it on here from the Philly Inquirer. Quote, "I think I'll fit in pretty well. I like Maxey. I like what he does on offense and everything. I thought I could be a good compliment to him, especially spreading the floor and letting the ball breathe." So, you know, you could slide Maxey back to that more so natural position of being a 2. You could have Devin Carter on the floor, and a lot of people have proposed that already this offseason. Like, you need more of that veteran type of experience at the point guard position to control the floor, because sometimes Maxey gets out of that rhythm a little bit. So like I said, man, he's a explosive athlete, has a really good shot, obviously has to work on the form a bit, but he had really good percentages this past season, especially off the catch and shoot, especially when guarded tightly as well. He seems like a big moment, big game type of player. He's explosive on the rebounds. He can defend well. I see no reason why Devin Carter should not be selected at 16 if he is still on the board. I think he's a really good player. Maybe doesn't end up becoming a star, but I think he can be a long-term type of rotational piece. I think he's a guy who comes in, can immediately impact the game from day one, and I just really like what I'm seeing. I like the growth trajectory. When you look at his stats, you look at year 1 to 2 to 3, right? He transferred after his first year. He was only shooting 26% from 3, averaging 9 points a game. He transferred to Providence. He then goes to 29.9% from 3, 13 points a game. And then this past year, he jumps up to almost 38% on almost 7 attempts per game. So high volume shooter, almost 20 points per game. What an absolutely big leap this season. 8.7 rebounds per game. And like I said, all the numbers show exactly what they need to. Ultimately, I think there will be a lot of talk about which way the Sixers decide to go. Like, what are their actual needs? Do they go for, say, a backup point guard in this draft? Do they go for a backup center? Do they go and move this pick and get a high-level wing? What will they do? There's still a lot that remains to be seen. But again, if they go in the draft, there's no reason why Devin Carter should not be selected. He is a no-brainer, and he has a lot of upside moving forward, which he has already shown this past season. So give me your thoughts down below in the comments section. What do you think about Devin Carter out of Providence? What do you think about the Sixers' needs? Give me all your thoughts. Appreciate everybody tapping in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. That being said, I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.